So this is what you'll start out with. You'll start out with 3 big pieces of paper with a bunch of things on them, with cooking, sewing, and interior design. And you'll also get these scorecards for the last rotation. So basically your 3 cards with a bunch of different sections of different items, you will go to the first one that is on top of your pile when you get it. So the one that's on top for me is cooking, and these are all of the cooking items. Each cooking item will have a number by it. They can be either physical items or they can also be pictures. So for the cooking one, we'll start out by saying, okay, this is a blender. So you'll look over here in your appliance section because it's a blender, and let's see if we can find it. You'd put your number, so number 1, and then you'll find your whisk, which will be in utensils, and your items are listed alphabetically. So your whisk will be at the very end, so you'll put 2. Then you have basil. So this is basil. So you'll go to your spices and you'll go down to basil right there, and you'll put 3. Then you have your frying pan. So you'll go here and you'll find your frying pan and you'll put the number associated with it. Then you'll go to the last thing, which is an apple cutter. I believe that's what it's called. An apple core or slicer?
Slicer.
Slicer, okay, I want to make sure. And then you'll put it next to that. So with these, this is just an example of what it will look like. There will be 30 items, and they'll all be on this list. Even if you don't think they're on the list, they'll be on here somewhere. And then you'll go to my next one, will be sewing and clothing. But since we're doing examples, it'll be the same type deal. 30 of these items will be on the table in front of you, and you'll rotate. Once everyone is done with their first section, they'll rotate. And then you'll do your next section. Same thing with your interior design. There'll be 30 items or 30 pictures, all numbered, and there'll be items, and you'll go and number each item. And this is applicable with all of the sections that have to do with labeling each product. So your next section, after doing your items or foods, you'll be going into a thing that's kind of like consumer decision making. Basically, you'll get these 2 cards. Mostly everything will be filled out for you except for your placing a score or your placement. Your class name. Since you only have 1 example today, we'll be only using 1 card. But during the real thing, you'll have 2 classes to do. So 2 things. So the first thing you'll do is read through what they want. So she is going on a 5-day camping trip in the wilderness, and she needs a sleeping bag. It needs to be lightweight, and it needs to be able to be in a backpack, and temperatures may get down to 30 degrees. So you want to keep all of these in mind because this is the things that she wants. And one thing I forgot to say is when you're doing these examples, most of the time it will be something to do with food. And it needs to have a budget. Her budget is $80 for this. You will have 3 items. You'll go through each one, you'll read it, you'll analyze it. So this one is 55 degrees. That's not what we want. We need it below 30. This is what we do want. It goes down to below 30. This one is -5. That's the best temperature rating. But if we look at the sizes, storage is stuff stack. So it means you can stuff it in a little bag. But your duffel bag, that's a big duffel bag you'd have to carry with you. And this guy, 0 degrees, which is what we want. He can be stuffed like the other ones. And he's also small in comfort and small. This guy right here, he is stackable, so he's pretty lightweight. Most of these are really lightweight. They're about 2 pounds each, except for the duffel bag, which is 7 pounds. So, when looking at these, you want to consider every single item, every single thing to do it the best. So in my opinion, so this will be all your opinion of what you would want if you're looking at these. So also the cost. Look at the cost too, because she wanted an $8 budget. So this right here, number 2. I'm going to say number 2 is my best item. So you're going to put him in greatest to least. So 2 is your best item, and then at the very end you'll put your worst item. So in the next item, in my opinion, on number 3, I'm going to put it as my second, because if you look right here, if you buy it online, you get 25% off. So that will be my best one, and you get free shipping, so it doesn't cost you any more. So that will be number 3, so 2, 3. And then I'm going to go into number 1 as my next item. So that will be number 1. The very last item, that will be the worst to buy, but if need be, you can buy it. And that's number 4. Once you have your placement score, which is 2314, you will look here on this list. This has every single option that there is out there. So you'll go into 2, you'll find a 2. Okay, here's the 2s. You'll find your 3 next. So 2, 3, and you'll have your 1 and your 4. Okay, that's the one you want. You'll circle it. And that is basically how you do this rotation. So everything that I just went over with all the rotations, you'll do on your own. You won't do as a team. But this last thing is that when everyone is done with all of the rotations, you'll go into this presentation of a scenario that you will be given by the judges. So the judges will have this sheet in front of them. This is what you basically want to have in your presentation. There is no minimum time and there is no maximum time. But you should probably keep it around 5 minutes. Is a good representation of what we're doing. Okay, so our scenario is, what should you wear to a job interview for a company that designs clothes? It's not going to be exact this is just an example of what it was kind of like this year or the 2022. So alternates. So what are your options? What should you wear? Okay, so you can go into suits, dresses, shirts, and you'll discuss this with a team, and you'll come up with your final solution. Once your conclusions reach, you are going to explain to the judges, and you'll have, I think it's about 5 minutes to prepare this, and they'll give you a big poster board, like a big sticky note. They'll give you something to do along the line with that. You can draw, you'll have coloring, you'll have 5 minutes to brainstorm, 5 minutes to prepare, and then you'll have about 5 minutes to present and for oral reasons. And you'll get points if each team member has to present at least one thing, so they have to say something. So if I was to go up to the judges, I would say, my solution for this, what would you wear to a job interview, would be, if I was a man and you want to look stylish for the clothes design company, for clothes, I would wear a different colored shirt with a suit and have some contrast of nowadays style. That's basically my solution, and you present that to the judges, and you can have a poster board, and they'll go through this while you're presenting, and you also give all of the options out there. So basically you can list all of your opportunities, you can list all of these things. You can list these two on your poster board, but this is your final solution. So they'll mark you. So basically, I didn't explain very much, so I'd get 10 points on that. Solution. So your conclusion is explained and reasonable for the situation. That I didn't do very good, but most of the time you'll do very good. The total team effort is shown. So basically, each team member, every member contributes to the presentation. So either holding the poster board, explaining a point. Doesn't have to be hard. You're just explaining a point is a good way. So your clear statement. And this is everything that you'll be doing. The first sections and rotations you'll do as yourself. There'll be 4 rotations. You'll rotate each one. It doesn't matter the order. You just won't be with a team member. You'll be on your own. This is the only thing you work on as a team. But if you have 4 team members and you do the rotations, the lowest score of your personal test of where you're putting the numbers down, they will get rid of this lowest score.